Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to this video series on Cisco ASA firewalls, Chapter 3, Initial Setup and System Maintenance. Cisco Adaptive Security Appliance ASA can be set up in a number of ways to adapt to any network topology. However, proper planning is essential for successful implementations of the security features that Cisco ASA offers. This chapter guides you through the initial configuration of the security appliance and shows ways to monitor the system's health and status, accessing the Cisco ASA appliance. Command line interface, CLI. The CLI provides non-graphical access to the Cisco ASA. The CLI can be accessed from a console, telnet, or secure shell SSH session. Telnet and SSH are discussed later in this chapter under Remote System Management. Graphical User Interface, GUI via ASDM. Cisco Adaptive Security Device Manager. ASDM provides an easy to navigate and simple graphical interface to set up and manage the different features that Cisco's Adaptive Security Appliance ASA provides. It is bundled with a variety of administration and monitoring tools to check the health of the appliance and the traffic traversing through it. ASDM access requires IP connectivity between the ADSM client and the security appliance. If you have a new security appliance, you can assign the initial IP address via the CLI and then establish GUI ASDM connection. So GUI there means graphical user interface. Establishing a console connection. A new security appliance by default has no configuration and thus it does not have IP addresses assigned to any of its interfaces. To access the CLI, you need a successful connection to the console port of the security appliance. The console port is a serial asynchronous port with the settings listed in table 3.1. You can connect the console port on the security appliance to a serial port on a PC by using a flat-rolled console cable with a DB9 serial adapter on one end and an RJ45 port on the other. The DB9 side of the cable goes to the serial port of a PC and the RJ45 end of the cable goes to the console port of the security appliance as illustrated in figure 3.1. After connecting the console cable to the security appliance and the computer, launch terminal emulation software such as HyperTerminal and TerraTerm to send and receive output. You can launch HyperTerminal by navigating to Start, Programs, Accessories, Communications, HyperTerminal on a Windows-based PC. The initial configuration window of HyperTerminal is shown in figure 3.2. In the connection description dialog box, enter a connection name to identify this session as a unique connection. A connection name of console connection to the Cisco ASA is specified in figure 3.2. You can choose an icon to associate with the connection entry. After filling out the connection name and selecting the icon, click OK to proceed. Specify the connection type in the connect to window because the console port uses an asynchronous serial connection. The HyperTerminal setting must use a COM port as illustrated in figure 3.3. COM3 is being set up for the serial connection to the security appliance. After you are finished, click OK to proceed to the next configuration window. So you can see here figure 3.3, setting HyperTerminal connection. So you can see here table 3.1 console port settings parameters value. Baud rate 9600, data bits 8, parity non-stopped bits 1, flow control hardware. The last window is used to configure port properties such as the baud rate and flow control. Figure 3.4 shows hyperterminal set up with the values listed in Table 3.1. After configuring the port settings, click OK to complete the configuration setup. So you can see here figure 3.4 setting up hyperterminal port specification. The hyperterminal application is ready to transmit and receive data from the security appliance. If you press enter a couple of times, you should see a Cisco ASA prompt in the hyperterminal window. Command line interface. After a successful console connection, the security appliance is ready to accept your commands. The Cisco ASA contains a command set structure similar to that of a Cisco IOS router and offers the following access modes: user mode, also known as user access mode; privilege mode; configuration mode; sub-configuration mode; Raman mode. User mode, shown as the host name with a greater than sign, is the first mode of access available when you log into the security appliance. This mode offers a limited set of commands that are useful in obtaining basic information about the security appliance. One of the important commands in this mode is enable, which prompts a user to specify a password to log in to privilege mode. Privilege mode, as shown with the host name with a hash sign, gives full access to a user after a successful login. This mode also allows execution of all the commands that are available in the user mode. The security appliance offers a rich set of monitoring and troubleshooting commands to check the health of different processes and features in the security appliance. One of the most important commands in this mode is configure terminal, which places a user in configuration mode. Configuration mode displayed as the host name with a config hash prompt allows a user to enable or disable features, set up security and networking components, and tweak the default parameters. This mode not only enables the user to configure the security appliance, but also allows the use of all commands that are available in the user and privilege modes. A user may enter into the sub-configuration mode of different features from this mode. Sub-configuration mode, displayed with the host name with a config XX hash prompt, lets a user configure specific networking or security features on the security appliance. The XX is replaced by the process /feature keyboard that is being configured on the security appliance. For example, if a user is setting up specific parameters on an interface, the prompt changes to config if hash. Sub-configuration mode enables the user to execute all the configuration mode commands as well as the user and privilege mode commands. In example 3.1, a user logs into the privileged mode from user access mode by typing the enable command. The security appliance prompts a user to specify a password to gain privilege mode access. If the security appliance has the default configuration, it uses a null no password to grant access. After logging into privilege mode, the user types configure terminal to access configuration mode. The user enters into interface sub-configuration mode by typing interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0 command. To go back to the previous mode, the user can type exit or quit as shown in example 3.1. Like a Cisco IOS router, the security appliance also, sorry, that should be shown there. Like a Cisco router, the security appliance also allows you to press the tab key to complete a partial command. For example, to enter show command. Type show and press the tab key. The security appliance displays the complete show command on the screen. The security appliance also allows you to abbreviate commands and keywords to the number of characters that identify a distinct abbreviation. For example, you can abbreviate the enable command as EN. All the supported options and arguments of a command are displayed when you type ? After the command. For example, you can type show ? To see all the options that are supported under the show command. The security appliance also provides a brief description and command syntax when you type help followed by the command. For example, when you type help reload, the security appliance shows the command syntax for reload, a description, and the supported arguments. The security appliance uses ROM mode, read-only memory monitor mode, when it does not find a bootable image or when an administrator forces it to enter into that mode. In ROM mode, you can use a TFTP server to load a system image into the security appliance. ROM mode is also used to recover the system password, discussed later in this chapter under image recovery using ROM. Managing licenses. As mentioned in chapter 2, Cisco ASA product and solution overview. The security appliance controls the security and networking features through the use of a license key. You can obtain the information of the currently installed license key by issuing the show version command. This command also displays other system information such as the current version and location of the system image, the ASDM version if installed, the security appliance uptime, the security appliance hardware model, including the memory and flash information, the physical interface and associated IRQs, interrupt requests, the current features that are active on the security appliance, the license information, the security compliance serial number, configuration register setting, information about last configuration modification. Example 3.2 shows the output of show version, which has a VPN plus base license key installed. So you can see here, here's the output. Security adaptive security appliance version 8.2 and so on and so forth. In example 3.2, the security appliance is running a system image of 8.21 with the ASDM image of 6.21. The hardware model is ASA 5520 running the plus license. The serial number and the license activation key are masked to protect this system's identity. The configuration register is set to 0x1, which instructs the security appliance to load the image from flash. The configuration register is discussed later in the password recovery process section. You can change the installed license key by using the activation key. The configuration register is set to 0x1, which instructs the security appliance to load the image from flash. The configuration register is discussed later in the password recovery process section. You can change the installed license key by using the activation key command followed by the 5-tuple key as shown in example 3.3. After the new activation key is entered, the security appliance shows the features set activated by the new license key. In this example, a VPN premium license key is installed. So you can see here example 3.3, changing the activation key. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Thank you.